you've been pretty darn busy since the last time we did speak, Mikhail. Catch us up on everything that's been happening for you, since we last hung out or chatted.
Oh man, what's been happening since then? All right, so we released that third single, "Wasting Our Time," and then the rest of the EP was coming out. But I got bored very quickly,
Yeah.
and you know, COVID was a very hard. 2020 was a very hard year, and
Yeah.
then getting the rest of the album out this year kind of felt the beginning of this year felt the same as last year. It really felt like things weren't getting better. And if I'm honest, my mental health was declining, just like everybody else's. Nothing special, nothing new. But there was some days there where I was just like being too hard on myself, or just being too whiny, and I was just like, I got to do something. I have to do something that's going to inspire me. So I
Mm.
just, I just, I just thought to myself, you know what? I want to put out another record. That's what I want to do. I just want to make more music. And I started listening to a lot of Glenn Hansard
Okay.
and Ray LaMontagne and um and Damien Rice and a bunch of just like super moody, folky artists that I've loved for a while, especially Glenn Hansard. He's one of my heroes as a songwriter and as a singer. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let go and just let some stuff, flow out of me. And
Mm.
it was a bit of a different sound, but I was just like, I'm not gonna filter myself here. And I thought to myself, I wrote one song. I recorded it, put a little demo down, and I said to myself, this ain't too bad. This ain't too bad. Somebody could do it better. So I called my manager up and I said, look, I want to put another record out. And he said, do it under a different name. So I did. And I
Hmm.
chose Blackbird Valley, which we'll get into that in a bit. But I called my friend Robbie Grunwald from Toronto, who had been on a couple of tracks of mine years ago. And I just said, look, do you want to make a record, and do you want to make it for free? And he was like, yeah, all right. Like, what's up? And I sent him a demo, and then he heard it and he was like, yeah, man, I'm 100% in. And I said, this will be our thing. This will be me and you. Blackbird Valley will be our thing. It's not a Mikhail Laxton thing. It's our thing. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. And we honestly went into it and we were just kind of like, let's just do it completely ourselves. Let's
Hmm.
have no budget. If we do have to hire like a drummer or something, then we can do that. Everything else we can do. I can play bass, he can play keys and bass and other stuff. And we just kind of did what we could, and then sourced out, and a couple of quid here and there for some drum tracks and some backing vocals. But that was pretty much it. And we came up with some stuff that we were really excited about. And eventually my manager was just like, I think I'm in. Like, let's do this too. And I was like, all right, cool.
And so this is what I think makes you a brilliant artist. Is that you're able to take how you're feeling, and it's almost like a diary to yourself, and go, okay, like, just you can get through this. Come on, Mikhail, you can get through this. Is this sort of where that song came from, to kind of take you out of that whiny kind of, maybe depressed mental state that you were in, Mikhail?
100%. Actually, that's crazy you say that, because the night that I wrote that, I was laying in bed and it was only like 7 o'clock or something. And I was just flicking through my phone, and
Mm.
I couldn't get out of my head. And I just, I've been like this one other time where it just got too much, and I realized it, and I caught myself, and instead of just like, I don't know, instead of giving into it and just laying around and doing nothing and just feeling like absolute crap all the time, I just picked myself up and I said, just grab the guitar and start singing, man. Like, snap out of it, snap the hell out of it. And I just sat down because I'd had enough of myself at this point. I had enough of myself of feeling like like crap about something we all had no control over.
Yeah.
The only thing we could control is whether or not we're going to wear a mask when we go outside, or if we're going to go outside in the first place. Everything else inside of this house was my decision. And I just got so fed up with my own attitude. And I sat down and I'm like, just chill, man. Just relax. This is a whole bunch of stuff that you can't deal with right now. And there was other stuff in my life going on as well. And it was just kind of like, I needed something to lift me up, and I couldn't find a song at that moment to just listen to pick me up. And I guess I just had to write one for myself. So I don't think it's always for me every time I listen to it. And then every now and again I'll be going through something and I'll just switch it on, and it's like, it sounds conceited because, like, I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning. It sounds conceited to kind of be like, yeah, I listen to my own music. And I'm like, well, you better listen to your own music and you better like it. Otherwise, what are you doing? You got to trust yourself, and you got to, like sometimes these things, music is, I think there's some actual magic involved. I don't know what it is, man, but like, if your own music isn't talking to you as much as it's talking to someone else at any given time, then figure it out. Figure out how to make it talk to you, So
I find it really cool that you said that you were looking for a song to change your mind state, to kind of make you feel better, and you couldn't find it. And so as an incredible artist, you wrote one. And that has
sounds weird
be,
having it being said back to me.
well, but if I have to tell you, Mikhail, I haven't heard any any artists that I've talked to, and there's been a lot, never have I heard it put like that, where you were looking for something to uplift you, a song to listen to, because we all listen to music for that very reason. That's why we like it. Like, you're right, there's a magic behind it. But what's even more magical is that you couldn't find it in that moment. Nothing was speaking to you, and so it came literally through you. And now this song gets to be what you were looking for everybody else, which is magical. You are so right when you say that. So I just think you're brilliant. I'm a huge fan of who you are as a person. And again, with the fact that you're able to, try something different, work with somebody else, and then you're releasing it as Blackbird Valley. I think that this is amazing. So good for you, Mikhail. Good for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
And again,
very nice words.
Thank you again for saying that and putting it in the way that you just did. I think that that's pretty cool. Couldn't find a song to listen to, so I wrote one. Perfect. I wish I had that ability. I wish I had that ability.
Yeah, I mean, me and Robbie, I just want to touch on something real quick. When you go back, just going back to what you said about Hang On, there's like this movement and this spiritual element to it. Robbie, the other half of Blackbird Valley, did a really great job of producing this song, because he brought in, like, he calls it bombastic elements in the drums, and to me it's tribal, and to me it is spiritual. Like, it's like very natural, organic instruments that just create this huge crescendo, and it moves into this gospel kind of thing where it's like, like, it's the human spirit ripping through the darkness, you know what I mean? And like,
so true.
You given time to do that, you know what I mean? And it's very, very hard to snap out of bad situations in your head, but you can do it eventually somehow, and it just takes some little thing. Sometimes the skies can get a bit too dark. Sometimes the rain comes down a little too hard. Sometimes the sun don't want to shine at all. On days that could do with a little warmth. Just when I feel like I could rule the world, and I wake up 2 steps ahead of myself. And chaos comes like a hurricane.
picking me up, throwing me down again. It's not an easy thing to do, but I know that we can make it through if we just hang on, just a little bit longer now, just a little bit longer now. If we just hang on, just a little bit longer now, just a little bit longer now. Every now and then I seem to fall apart. I build up the barriers between my head and my heart. I lose myself in all the petty things, 'cause it's easier to let them get away from me. It's not an easy thing to do, but I know that